Today, we're talking about a rocky hill that has seen it all. I mean, the birth of democracy, the absolute fury of war, and one of the most incredible restoration projects in human history. This isn't just a story about some old ruins. It's the absolutely dramatic life story of the Acropolis of Athens. And there it is. For 2,500 years, this citadel has just loomed over the Athenian skyline. Can you even imagine the history it's looked down on from that spot? It's been a fortress, a holy site, and now a global icon. All of it built on this one single strategic hill. You know, its name basically tells you everything you need to know about its purpose. Acropolis, that means highest point. Polis, city. The Acropolis was, quite literally, the highest city. It was the ultimate high ground, the sacred and defensive heart of ancient Athens. So how did it become the masterpiece that we all recognize today? Well, our story really kicks off in the 5th century BC, with this incredible explosion of creativity and ambition that would just echo through the ages, the golden age of Athens. This whole grand project, and you gotta get this, it literally rose from the ashes. See, in 480 BC, the Persians sacked Athens and just leveled everything on the hill. But just a couple of decades later, the statesman, Pericles, launched a building program that would not only defy that destruction, but would show off the power and the culture of Athens to the entire world. And this wasn't just some quick repair job. Oh no, Pericles got the greatest artists and architects of the time to create this stunning complex of new buildings. These are like the greatest hits of the Acropolis. You've got the majestic Parthenon, the grand entranceway called the Propylaea, the really unique Erechtheion, and the delicate temple of Athena Nike. I mean, each one is a total masterpiece. The crown jewel, of course, was the Parthenon. This was dedicated to Athena Parthenos, that's Athena the Virgin, who was the city's patron goddess. It was a symbol of Athenian victory and just a marvel of mathematical genius. It has all these subtle curves and optical tricks that actually make it look perfectly straight and symmetrical to our eyes. It's incredible. And then you have the Erechtheion, which shows you just how elegant the site was. It's completely different from the Parthenon. It's a temple for multiple gods, and its design is super complex. Instead of those powerful columns, it's famous for this, the Porch of the Maidens, where these 6 sculpted female figures, the caryatids, are actually holding up the roof. But you know how these stories go. The Golden Age couldn't last forever. The very thing that made the Acropolis a beacon, its prominence, also made it a target. And that led to centuries of conflict and turmoil. So as we saw, those masterpieces from Pericles' time were built right on the rubble left by the Persian invasion. That violent destruction was a huge trauma for the Athenians, but it was also kind of a dark omen of what was still to come. For more than 2,000 years, the Parthenon stood, mostly intact. It survived wars, earthquakes, entire civilizations falling. It seemed invincible. And then came the year 1687. Okay, so here's the situation. At this point, Athens is under the control of the Ottoman Empire, and they're at war with Venice. The Ottomans, thinking, hey, the Venetians would never dare fire on such a historic building, made a truly fatal mistake. They decided to use the Parthenon to store their gunpowder. They were so wrong. On September 26th, a Venetian mortar shell sailed over the walls, smashed through the roof of the Parthenon, and boom, it ignited all that gunpowder inside. The explosion was catastrophic. It blew out the entire center of the temple, shattered its sculptures, a masterpiece of human history just ruined in an instant. It's really hard to wrap your head around the scale of the destruction. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you have the classical ideal, what it was meant to be. And on the right, the devastating reality after that one fateful day in 1687. In one fiery blast, a masterpiece was turned into a ruin. But the story doesn't end there, in all that destruction. For our third act, we get to see one of the most careful, most ambitious restoration efforts ever tried, the rebirth of the Acropolis. So after centuries of just being neglected, with a few shoddy repairs here and there, a huge scientific effort kicked off in 1975. And the goal wasn't to rebuild it from scratch, not at all. It was to save what was left and to fix the mistakes of past restorations. And what's so crucial here is the incredible precision of this work. It's like the world's most complicated, most important jigsaw puzzle. First, they collected and identified every single stone fragment on the hill. Then, using this process called anastylosis, they started putting the original pieces back together. They used modern titanium dowels, which don't rust like the old iron ones did, and they only used new marble from the exact same quarries the ancient Athenians used when it was absolutely 100% necessary. And just to give you a sense of the sheer scale of this project, look at that number. 2,675 tons. That is the total weight of the architectural pieces that have been painstakingly put back into place. It is a truly massive undertaking. And you can see the results right here. On the left, a photo from 1842. And the site is just a mess, a total jumble. On the right, you can see the modern work. It's still going on, but it's methodical, it's scientific, and it's all about preserving the real, authentic monument. Okay, so let's get our bearings again really quick. On this plan, you can see the main players in our story. Number 1, that's the giant Parthenon, right in the middle. Number 5 is the Propylaea, the grand entrance. And number 3 is that elegant Erechtheion with its famous porch. So why does all of this matter? After all the destruction and that incredible rebirth, what does the Acropolis really mean to us today? While it's so much more than just a tourist spot or an archaeological site, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's recognized as this profound symbol of the classical spirit, of democracy, and really the foundations of Western civilization, our philosophy, our art, our politics. It's like a touchstone for all of humanity. The ideas, the art, the culture of the society that built these incredible things, it's all embedded right there in the marble. It gives us a direct, physical connection to our shared past, and it inspires us to think about what we can achieve in our future. And that's really the ultimate transformation, isn't it? It started out as a fortress and a place of worship for just one city, but today its meaning has just exploded to become this universal symbol of human potential and creative genius. Which, it leaves us with one final thought. The Acropolis has been around for 2.5 millennia. It kind of makes you wonder, what are we building today that will have the power to move and inspire people 2,500 years from now?